What's up everybody, Fortexfiend here, and welcome back again to another video on SD Gundam G Generation Eternal, where we're going to ask the question, is the Gyan Custom unit that is currently in the GShop worth buying? Now, I've been seeing this question floating around, not only in my Discord, but also like in Reddit and other different social media out there that pertains to this game. So I want to give my personal opinion about this unit. Now, before I go ahead and get started, you guys know the drill. If you enjoy what you see on the channel, hit that subscribe button, notification bell, like or dislike, and comment down below if you've bought this unit or if you haven't, and why and what you think of it. Now, I also want to let you guys know that the reason why there hasn't been a lot of uploads lately on the channel for the last few days is because I've been really busy with work. Work has been ramping up, and also I was helping my parents prep for their 40th anniversary that we just celebrated recently this past weekend. But now that all of that is taken care of, I have a little bit more time to create more videos for you guys and also stream on Twitch. So don't forget, I do stream on Twitch and YouTube, so don't forget to check the links in the video description as well as the pinned comment. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. Is this unit worth buying? Now, if you want to just end the video right here, my answer is yes. Why? It's because it is a free unit. There is no reason why you should even be thinking about not to buy it, because also as a free-to-play player, especially if you've been playing for a while, you know, we now have that bulk development where we could pretty much develop like a bulk amount of units. The maximum is 32, but that's still better than just developing one at a time. And I know the infamous developing a bunch of balls and then selling them for a little bit of your coins back and also getting some G points out of it is probably the best way to be able to do this. It's a little tedious and can be time consuming, but the thing is that that option is there now, so there's no reason why anybody should be considering not to be buying this unit. It's free. This game encourages a lot of like, you know, roster diversity, being able to like create teams based on tags, based on particular series, depending on what stage you're tackling. So the short answer is yes, you can stop the video here. But if you guys want my full opinion on this particular unit, let's go ahead and take a look at it here. So I haven't bought the dupe materials yet for it, but we're going to take a look at it at its full capabilities, assuming that you want to use your SP coins on this. As we see right here, it has 112k HP total. It does have 10k defense. I would say those are solid stats. I wouldn't say they're necessarily the best. And we're going to get into that when I do compare this particular SSR defender, you know, to the other SSR defenders that currently exist in the game. It also only has 2 weapon skills. And as you can see right here, their range is not necessarily the greatest. I mean, the highest range that it has is 3, but again, it's solid. It's better than nothing. The power on its large beam sword is pretty respectable at 4800, and it does have a decreased beam weapon power by 25%, which can be very useful because a lot of the more powerful skills are beam weapons. However, remember, this debuff will do absolutely nothing against like units that have EX skills, because they do have that damage nullification and all that absolute hit. So just keep that in mind, especially like for Master League, for example. And then afterwards, it does have needle missiles, which does have that 3 range. I like the attack down 25%. Again, it's solid. It's not the greatest, but it's there for you. It is an option. Again, it is a free unit. In terms of its actual abilities, it has increased max HP. This is why you see it having up to 112k. When you do level it up, get the copies for it and also use your SP coins. And it does have an HP condition where if its HP is 50% or below, it gets a little bit of a defensive increase. So it becomes slightly harder to kill. However, to put into perspective, if you take this thing into Master League, currently right now, this is actually a unit that gets a buff from Master League. But if it gets hit by an EX skill, it's still gonna hurt, even regardless of that passive. And also 50% or below means that this unit is probably not gonna survive regardless. But it's a cool passive, I will say that. And then afterwards, it does have increased evasion, which is interesting, I would say, for a defender type unit. You know, it does have a chance to evade. But again, if it gets hit by an EX skill, absolute hit's just going to take it out. So it's going to bypass the evasion. I do like that it has shield defense. I talk highly of this. It's a defender type unit. Why not have some sort of mitigation on it on top of it? So this is always nice to have. So I do like that it does have this. And then if we take a look at the details, It has a slew of tags that are very useful, and it's part of 2 different series. So you could decide where to take it. It has UC series, which there's a ton of units that are there. It has Unstoppable, which again, both UC series and Unstoppable are part of the current Master League Season 4. So you could take this thing into Master League. And then afterwards, it does have Test Type, and it has Neo Zeon. Again, very, very diversified tags in terms of deciding, what teams you want to create around it or which pilots to use. Speaking of pilots for the Gyan Custom, so the best pilot, hands down, that is not a UR pilot, that is an SSR pilot, is going to be this guy, this Rakan Dakaran. So the reason why he's probably the best pilot to use outside of like UR pilots is if you take a look at his abilities, his affinity is Neo Zeon, so when he's piloting units with specified tags, he increases damage dealt to enemies by 10% and also reduces the damage further. So he would likely be your best if you're looking for like an SSR pilot. He is unfortunately a gacha unit, but if you've been pulling or been playing for a while and you've been pulling on specific banners and stuff, you probably already have this guy in your roster. So if you're looking for like the top pilot to pick that is not a UR pilot, I would say go for this guy. And then if you're looking for like free defender pilots, unfortunately, and if I'm wrong, you guys can correct me in the comment section, but the only ones that I would say maybe you could use are like, you got Ortega, who's a free defensive pilot. Right over here, we have that one that we just got from Iron-Blooded Orphans. I just leveled him up. Where is he? Right over here. But unfortunately, like none of these pilots can really take advantage of the Neo Zeon, which is why Rakan is the best one. But if you're looking for something more free that you don't have to pull on a gacha for, these are pilots that you could consider. Okay, so all in all, I do think that the Gyan Custom is a solid unit. It's still free, which is why I say it's worth using your G points on, because there's an easier way now. We have an easier way to be able to get G points, with the bulk development and everything like that. But to put things into perspective, I am going to go into the Soulshage wiki right over here, and we're going to take a look at its stats. So we were talking about earlier how its HP and its defense is just, it's solid. It's not the greatest when you compare it to some of the other SSRs. Like, for example, if we take a look at its HP, and I did sort this by descending, its HP is 112k. So we keep scrolling down. It falls around right here in terms of like the HP, so it's not even at the top 10, but it's still a good amount of HP, I would say, for a defender type unit. And then its defense is only at 10,000. So if we put that into perspective here, I sorted this out again. We got Psychoto here having the most for the SSR defenders, and if we scroll all the way down, he falls right around here. However, if we take into consideration the conditional passive, where if its HP is at 50% or below, its defense jumps to 11,419. So realistically, it would place it a little bit higher in terms of like its defense, right about, keep going up, right around here. So it gets a little better. So it becomes the 7th highest defender unit for like all of the SSRs. But remember, it does need to have that conditional passive. So all in all, I do think it's a solid unit. It's not the greatest, but again, it's free, and there's really no reason why no one should consider buying it, because again, you use free resources to get it. You use an option in game that doesn't require any of your diamonds, and why not have a bigger roster? That way you can get more creative with your teams. You have more units to use, especially when it comes to harder content. So if you want my answer, I say yes, definitely go for it. But newer players might take you a little bit longer, because you do need to be able to have a good amount of capital to be able to mass develop a bunch of the balls and stuff like that. But if you do have the resources to do so, I say pick it up. It's worth it. Free unit, why not, right? But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Is this unit worth it to you? Do you agree with me? What are some issues that you're seeing with this unit? What content have you been using the Gyan Custom on? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Thank you guys again for watching. Stay tuned for the next video, and stay blessed, everybody.